What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another review for Old School Raw. Today we have arrived to the February 15th, 1993 edition, and let's get right into it, shall we? Raw opens this time with quick promos of Brutus Beefcake and Ted Dibiase hyping up their match for tonight. Then back inside the Manhattan Center, Vince, Randy Savage, and Rob Bartlett run down what we are going to see on the show. They then toss to the ring where we have a tag team match between the Steiner Bros and some jobbers. Vince McMahon doesn't get this joke that Rob Bartlett drops on him. Here, take a listen for yourself.
Who's on first? What's on second? The Steiner brothers. They know who's on first. Starting things off with the Steiner brother team is...
Jesus, come on, Vince. You can't be that dumb. That skit was probably out during your time. You should know what that is. I know what that is, and I'm too young for it. So anyway, moving on. We have Scott Steiner with a full Nelson suplex. Belly to belly by Rick Steiner then. When I first saw the Steiner brothers actually as a tag team, I didn't know which one was Scott Steiner. I know I probably sound crazy. Because I knew the Freakzilla version of Scott Steiner, I actually thought that Rick was Scott before the fame. Because if you look at Rick and you look at Scott, both of their body types during their tag team days, Rick looks more like Freakzilla than Scott does. So, anyways, the Steiner brothers get the win with an electric chair bulldog like they did on, I think it was the first episode of Raw. Out of the two matches so far I've seen from the Steiner brothers on Raw, they have impressed me. I'm hype every time I see them coming out now. So after WrestleMania 9, wait, before I even get to that, so they are doing a good job. I don't know if they have a match coming up at WrestleMania 9. If they don't, I don't know. I don't understand why. They're one of their best tag teams in the company right now. Every time I see them, and that's just only in jobber matches. So we are coming back from a WrestleMania 9 update. Yokozuna is set for a match. He was the Royal Rumble winner and was headed to face Bret Hart for the WWF title at WrestleMania. By the way, we haven't seen Bret Hart on Raw since the Go Home episode to the Rumble. If this was today, we would have seen Yokozuna and Bret Hart already face each other like 5 times before they even got to Mania. Randy Savage was having technical problems with his headset, and the crowd was really into all of this, reacting to all the moves for both matches so far in the tag match in this one. Bonsai drop for the win. Yokozuna sounded like he said Samoa after the match, so he's out here breaking kayfabe. After the match, they showed footage of Yokozuna, I almost pulled a Rob Bartlett there, destroying Hacksaw Jim Duggan on an episode of WWF Superstars. We also get some footage of Giant Gonzalez squashing some guy, and then the 2 other guys running off. It was supposed to be a 1-on-3 handicap match. Back from commercial though, a battle royal starts with the bell ringing, and then everybody runs into the ring. Yes, they run inside. Nobody had made an entrance, or they weren't even inside when the match started. They all run in. And I'm not sure what this match is for. They haven't said anything. Nobody said anything on commentary. The announcer didn't say anything before the match started. It just gets underway. So, Coco Beware eliminated by Shawn Michaels. So, see you later, Coco Beware. I was thinking during this battle royal, imagine all the guys in the match having to work together. It would be like in school, the entire class has to do a project together, and you would have to interact with people you'd never know or have never known, and sometimes, or some of them you might even hate. But you gotta do what you gotta do to make it work. And what I'm trying to say is, some of these guys probably find it awkward having these matches, these battle royal type matches, when they don't have a friend to just punch in the corner while people get to their spots. So just kind of throwing that little observation out there. Some of these guys probably don't have any friends out there in battle royals, and they're probably in there for a good, for example, I remember a Royal Rumble where Finn Balor and Rusev started, and Finn Balor went like 30-40 minutes. Imagine Finn Balor not having any friends, which I'm pretty sure is not correct. Everybody probably loves him. But, for example, Finn Balor not having any friends, and he's in that match for that long. Imagine how just awkward he has to be to like find somebody to punch or just kind of do moves to while he's just waiting to get thrown out or get to his spot. That's basically what I'm trying to say there. Um, Moving on though, our favorite wrestler, Damien Demento, gets thrown out by Kamala. Sad to see him go. Kimchi and Typhoon then get rid of Kamala together, but Kamala gets back in and eliminates Kimchi. Then the camera follows Kamala chasing Kimchi through the crowd, and when we come back from commercial, the chase continues on the second floor of the Manhattan Center. And we never see anything of this ever again. They just kind of go into one of the rooms on the second floor, and that's pretty much it. Sean gets the big man Typhoon over the top rope, and it leaves the final four: Tito Santana, Tatanka, Sean, and Racer Ramon. Tito and Tatanka work on Sean and are able to eliminate him together. I was kind of surprised there. I'm not used to people working in battle royals and actually like what do you call it? Their partnership actually working out and them being able to eliminate someone. Usually you'll see them work together for a couple minutes and then miscommunication happens and then one of them gets thrown out. But no, they actually are able. They work on Sean and then they actually throw him over. Then we see Giant Gonzalez coming down to the ring. 1 second here, I touched the button on my notes. All right, so we see Giant Gonzalez getting into the ring and attacks the two baby faces, and then he throws both of them over the top rope, allowing Racer Ramon to be the last man standing and the winner of this battle royal. This was a stupid ending, and I still don't know what the match was for. So Racer Ramon just getting a win here, a battle royal win for absolutely no reason. And it looks like it was just to have Gonzalez come out at the end. If it wasn't for anything special, why not just have Gonzalez in the match and have him win? Just to show, they basically showed they would have accomplished the same thing that they tried to accomplish in this match to get Gonzalez over as this monster heel or this monster wrestler. They should have just had him in the match to begin with and have him win. Brutus Beefcake and Ted DiBiase with Jimmy Hart coming up next. By the way, what's his name is not with DiBiase here. IRS, that's his name. IRS is not with DiBiase. Jimmy Hart is the only one in his corner. They go for the lockup twice, but instead Brutus psychs him out and goes for his strut twice. The crowd really is behind Beefcake in this match. Jimmy Hart was really worried about Ted losing to Beefcake. Ted DiBiase coming to the outside and Jimmy Hart just being all over him, telling him to watch out, to pay attention, not to take him lightly. Then some good work going on in the ring. Beefcake hitting forearms instead of the illegal close fist. So a nice little attention to detail there. What I've realized is that the close fists are like someone doing a submission while the opponent has the ropes. One punch isn't a DQ, but instead you can throw multiple punches at once. It just can't be while the referee is counting to, he's doing his count. If he gets to 5, eventually you're going to get DQ'd if you are throwing punches. However, I don't think anyone since 1993 have been DQ'd for the close fist. If anybody has been, let me know. In other companies or before 1993, if you can recall that, someone actually getting DQ'd for close fist, let me know. I want to see that actually taking place. However, what does get DQs called? IRS coming in and hitting Beefcake with a briefcase. That's exactly what happened. Then Ted and IRS beat up Brutus afterwards. Jimmy Hart is trying to stop them, but he gets shoved aside by IRS. Then IRS nails Beefcake in the reconstructive face with the briefcase, and it made a good sound. So the first time that IRS hits Beefcake, it's like not really meant to take anyone out. I think he just hits him with it. I think it might have been on his back. I can't even remember now, and I just watched this episode. Sorry for not doing my research as a professional. Then they actually set him up. Ted DiBiase holds him up, and Brutus Beefcake comes in with the briefcase to his face, and it actually made a good sound. They really pulled this one off really well. They end up stretching Brutus out as Jimmy stays by his side. They show some blood in the ring, but we never see Beefcake actually bleeding or anything. They do tease a match for next week and say that Hulk Hogan might be there since Money Inc. are going to be in action. But that's it for the show. Let's give some awards. Best moment, I gave it to the briefcase spot with Money Inc. and Brutus Beefcake. They really pulled that one off well, as like I said. Worst moment, I gave it to Giant Gonzalez coming out and interrupting the Battle Royal. Like I said as well, again, Gonzalez should have just been in that match to win it. I don't understand. And what was it for? Made no sense. The worst match, I gave it to Yokozuna and a jobber. This is like the third time in 5 weeks we've seen this type of match for Yokozuna. Enough already. For the best match, I couldn't really come up with one. I gave it to the Battle Royal. No other match was great, but at least this one had different things going on, even if it did had a bad conclusion, if you will. The wackest performer of the night, Giant Gonzalez. I just I can't say any more about this guy. I mean, he's really slow. If you guys watched this episode or have seen Giant Gonzalez ever in your life, you know what I'm talking about. Even in his little like video package from the Superstars taping or whatever other show was shown on this episode of Raw, when we saw Giant Gonzalez taking on those three guys, he was holding the guy by his neck for a good minute. It had to have been a good minute. I thought he was gonna go for a choke slam, but no, he was eventually he did go for a choke slam, and the choke slam looked really terrible. But at first he goes for the throat, and you're like, all right, he's gonna give a choke slam, but no, he holds him there for a good like I said, like a minute, and whatever. Wackest performer goes to Giant Gonzalez. The standout performer, and I guess I'll give it to the Steiner brothers again. Standout performers. I just enjoy their matches. Now, if they get another squash match, I might get irritated because it's gonna be like that whole thing, like what that I said about Yokozuna. It's like third time in 5 weeks for him having a jobber match. But nobody in the battle royal really stood out. And the main event with Money Inc. and Brutus and Jimmy Hart, they all performed at their level, no more, no less. So yeah, I'll say the best performers were the Steiner brothers because they were actually doing some decent moves in there. My overall rating for this show would be a grade of a B. The ending was decent. None of the matches were really terrible. I always enjoy a battle royal unless the wrong person wins. The show's momentum was just right. Each segment kept the crowd involved going into the next one. And this is the first show so far I recommend watching all the way through if you got some time. Besides the first one, obviously, but that's just because it was the first one. If you're going through old school episodes, this one for sure is one to watch through. I think good Raw episodes so far now are 4 out of 5. 4 good and 1 that is really skippable. I'm really glad I'm not doing any episodes from 2015 and on, because the bad episodes would really add up if we were going through the past 5 years of Raw. But anyways, I'm done with the reviews for this one. Leave any questions or comments down below, and until next time, I'm out.